Maximilian Kolbe by Julius Ponce, period 6. Saint Maximilian Kolbe was a priest who was born in 1894 to Julius Kolbe and Maria Dabrowska in the town of Zerdunska Vola. At the time, Zerdunska Vola was a part of the Russian Empire. His main transformation occurred when he saw a vision of the Virgin Mary, who gave him the choice of a white or red crown, white being preserving the purity, and the red meaning he would become a martyr. He chose to take both. This is exactly what happened to him, as he became a martyr through his sacrifice at Auschwitz concentration camp. When he was just 12 to 13 years old, he, along with his brother, had joined the conventual Franciscans in Lviv, modern-day Ukraine. His main job as a priest was to convert enemies of the Catholic Church. However, due to health problems, he was forced to go back to Poland, but he was allowed to continue his work. In 1918, Kolbe was assigned to teach at a Krakow seminary and was ordained a priest. Unfortunately, Kolbe was diagnosed with tuberculosis in the winter of 1922. In 1927, he started a monastery in Niepokanał near Warsaw. In the early 1930s, Kolbe traveled throughout East Asia, mainly Shanghai on the left and Nagasaki on the right. Due to his tuberculosis, he had to make his way back to Poland. World War II had started shortly after with the Nazis' invasion of Poland. Shortly after the successful capture of Poland, Kolbe was thrown in jail, but released later a few months. He had denied signing the Deutsche Volksrecht. Maximilian Kolbe made the kingdom of God more visible by sheltering the persecuted and resisting evil, publishing the good news in multiple languages, and living mercy and kenosis that reflects Christ's own death and resurrection. Shortly after his release from jail, his monastery quickly became an anti-Nazi Germany area. The Germans shut down this act of oppression in the winter of 1941 and arrested 5 people, including Kolbe. In his life, he sheltered the persecuted when the Nazis in Auschwitz had to pick 10 people to starve to death. However, because he had hardly any family and he was a priest, Kolbe decided to take a man's place so he didn't have to lose his family. He was the only survivor after 2 weeks of starvation, so they used lethal injection, which ended his life. Throughout our life, it is important to make sacrifices. One doesn't necessarily have to sacrifice their own life to be complete, but at least sacrifice things that they value. This relates to one of the 7 deadly sins, greed. This is because when someone does not give away their values from time to time, they grow attached and want more, kind of like money. He gave compassion to several people. This is through his short but thoughtful act in being anti-Nazi Germany, and quite possibly warning Jews through his monastery. His act of sacrificing himself to be starved also showed deep compassion in that he would do anything to save a person from being forced to starve themselves and have their family lose a loved one. His sacrifice also recognizes that the crucifixion of Jesus and how he was suffering for weeks before finally laying his life down.